Hey everyone, welcome back to Code of the Row. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a gameplay ability of a blink. I'm trying to use free animations and free assets. So when I pretty much just cast this animation, my character just blinks forward and plays that Niagara effect. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I will start from a new third person project. And now the first thing I need to do is just head over to edit, go to plugins and enable gameplay ability. And don't worry, this project, I will post it on my Patreon. So if you want to download this, feel free to check out my Patreon in the description below. Hit restart now. And once your project's restarted, I'm just going to head over to the third person folder, go to blueprints and open up my BP third person character. And then I'm just going to click add under components and look for the ability system like so. And now let's head back to the content folder. I'm going to right click and create blueprint class. And under all classes, I'm going to look for the gameplay ability just like so. And then I'll hit select and I'll just call this GA underscore blink. And I'll double click to open this up. Now this is going to be pretty simple. It's kind of like how a lot of tutorials would do this in their character BP or some sort of controller that they use. And pretty much with the event graph and the beauty of your gameplay ability is that you just do it once and then you can assign it to your characters. And yeah, it's pretty simple to do. All you want to do is after your event activate ability, we're going to commit the ability just in case you have any stats that you want this blink to take effect, such as mana or stamina. And then we're going to actually just play a montage and wait. And currently, I don't have any montages, but if you want to download some, you can head over to Mixamo. So from my Mixamo, I'm just going to import this standing spell by hitting download and downloading it at 60 FPS, and then just dragging dropping my skeleton into the project first. So I'll drag and drop my Xbot, hit import all. And then after that's downloaded or installed, after that's imported, I'm just going to do my standing one-handed cast spell. Make sure that the target is this Xbot skeleton so I can retarget. And just like that, you will see that it's imported correctly. And then I'm just going to right click this and retarget animations to my Quinn Simple. And I'll just select this, see the preview and click export animations like so. And I'll just export it over here. And now what I'm going to want to do is just right click on this and create an anim montage. And I'll just do something like am underscore blink. And I'll double click to open this up. And I can assign it in my gameplay ability blink like so. And essentially after this montage wait happens, I just want to wait for a gameplay event. And this event will pretty much just look for a tag that we need to create that's going to tell our character or that's going to tell this montage like, hey, this event happened. Now let's do the rest of the function. So in this case, what I want to do, it's going to be pretty simple. So after we receive this event, which is going to tie into the event tag, then I actually just want to set the actor location. And you're going to see nothing popped up. And that's because I want to get a reference to my mesh or the owner who's actually using this. So in gameplay ability system, or GAS for short, you can actually get avatar actor from actor info. And from here, you can actually just, instead of casting, you can just get a reference to your mesh, your actor location, and so on. And in this case, there are a few things that I want to do. So I want to actually get my actor location, and I also want to get my actor, and then I'll drag this out again, and I want to get actor forward vector. So this is pretty much going to show where we're pointing to or what is in front of us, and this is going to be directly our location. And then I'm going to drag this out one more time and get actor rotation. So this will now tell us, this will give us information on where our actor is rotated at the moment. And you can play with these however you want. If you want to set yourself invisible and then visible later, you can actually just get, you can get your component by class, and then you can look for your skeletal mesh component or whatever, and then set visibility like so. But I'll keep it simple and erase that. And then after we get this event tag that we need to create, so I'm going to hit this drop down, click on this plus sign, and just do a ability.blink, and the source has to be my default gameplay tags.ini. So I'll checkmark that just so it says ability.blink. And pretty much after we receive this event, I just want to set the actor location. And when I drag off my get avatar actor from actor info, I can look for the set actor location like so. And I can just connect this to the event received. If I were to just connect it up here, then it's going to constantly keep playing this, and I don't want that to happen, or else I'll blink way, way, way further forward than I need to. So I just wanted to do it once. So I'll do only trigger once as soon as we get this event tag. And I can actually uncheck this because I'm only going to be calling this event tag once in my anim montage, which I'll show you in a second. And the new location of this is actually just going to be our actor location. And I want to add my actor location with the forward vector times a distance. So I'm going to drag this forward vector out and multiply this, and I'm going to right click the B node and change it to a float single precision. And this part will determine the distance of how far we go. So I'll do something like a unit of 500, and I want to add it to our actor location, and that will be our new location like so. And that's pretty much all we need to just teleport our character forward. But I also want to call an ability end, and I'm actually going to do that over here after the on completed, on blend out, on interrupted, and on canceled. So I'm going to right click and do ability or end ability. I'm going to look for the end ability and plug all of these in. And the reason why I'm doing it here and not after this is because this will happen directly after our event received. And then that means our animation wouldn't play through and it would just cut off and end the ability. But I want to make sure that we either do any of the following. And I'll double check that it's working by adding a print string after our event on ability. So I'll just look for ability ended like so, and I'll hit compile. And the reason why I actually showed the get actor rotation is because if you are spawning an emitter or spawning a system, so if I look for a spawn system at location, you can connect your get actor location to location, or get actor rotation to rotation, and then you can select whatever Niagara particle effect or cascade particle effect you're looking for if you want a cool effect when you teleport. But in my case, I don't have any in this project. I'm just using the basic third person template. So I'll hit compile and I can get rid of this like so. And now I need a way to actually get this ability.blink from my animation montage to tell it when to actually teleport properly. So I'll go back to my third person map and right click, and I'm going to look for a blueprint class called anim notify. And in my anim notify, I'm going to call this an underscore spell. And then I'm going to override a function called receive notify. And for the mesh component, I can just get the owner, which is going to be an actor component. And from the actor component, I am going to send gameplay event to actor. And I want this to be pretty modular, so it can be used for essentially any spell. So the event tag, I'm just going to make this instance editable, so I can just edit this in the instance, which is going to be our animation montage blink. So let me show you an example. So because we checked this I or made this instance editable, when I go to my animation montage blink, go to my track 1, I can add a notify called an spell like so. And then you'll see this event tag pop up here. And this is the editable part, the instance editable part. And I can select this ability.blink. And that's all I need in order to actually have the blink effect take effect after this gameplay event. So it'll do the set actor location part, which is going to essentially move our character forward by 500 units as so. And you can also do other things in this by adding another track and then you can just add a notify state, such as you can have a timed Niagara effect, particle effect. You can add trails. You can add sound effects, particle effects. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do from our anim notifies themselves. And I can make a separate video going over how to make some anim notifies. So now the last thing I need to do is go to my class defaults, and under ability tags, I'm going to set it to that ability.blink so I can reference this in my character. Also, I want to set it my block abilities with tag to be ability with dot blink also, because I don't want to be able to spam repeat this. So now when I go to my BP third person, at the end of my event begin play, I can just add ability. I can just give ability from the ability system. And the ability I want to give it is just going to be that GA underscore blink. And under here, I'll write a debug key F. And when I click F, I actually want to just try and activate the ability by a tag or a class. In this case, I'll just do class and I'll show you both methods. So I can just select the GA blink directly. And now when I go back to my third person map and click F, I'll play this and I'll move forward 500 units as so. Now I can go back to my BB third person character and I'll show you how it is with, or how it works with tags. So on press, I'm going to try activate ability by tag like so. And I can just right click this gameplay tag container and promote this to a variable, and I'll call this blink. And then when I compile, I can edit the default value to be that ability.blink, and it'll work the exact same way. So I'll hit compile, and then when I click F, I'll blink forward, and it works the exact same way. And one more thing is, personally, I want this animation to affect my upper body because it looks kind of weird when I slide around and cast. So let me go ahead and fix that up. So all I need to do for that is just head over to my BB third person character, go over to my mesh and open up my anim montage like so. So I'll open my ABP Quinn, and because this is a child of the Manny, I do have to open up my ABP Manny. And now in here, I'll go to my anim graph, and I just need to add a layered blend by pose. So from here, I'm just going to break this pin, both of these pins. And before my control rig, I want to add a layered blend per bone, and I'll connect this like so. And I'll change this default slot to upper body, which is already made for you in your third person template. I'm just going to drag out the main state and select new save cached pose. And I'll just call this cached pose. And I'll just leave this down here. And then I'll right click and look for that cached pose. So I'll do use cache pose called cache pose and plug this into the upper body. And then I will just duplicate this up here. And I'll plug this cache pose into the base pose. And I'll plug the one with from the upper body to the blend pose. And now when I cover over my layered blend per bone, I will just make sure that blend mode is set to branch filter, and under layer setup, I'm going to add a branch filter. So from here, I'm going to set the bone name to something like spine 01, because then this just means that whatever animontage I set upper body to over here, it's only going to animate from spine 01 and over it. So I'll hit compile and save and show you how this works. So I'll go back to my am_blink and change this default group.default slot for body one like so. It might T-pose until you reopen it. So I can just X this out and open it and it's going to play just fine again. And now when I go back to my game and hit F while running, I'll be able to properly run and play my anim montage on my upper half like so. Just so I don't have that sliding around and it kind of looks a lot cleaner to me. And now I don't want to be able to keep spamming my ability, so I'm going to create a simple gameplay effect that puts this blink on a cooldown. So in my content, it is getting a little messy, so I'm actually going to create a new folder. So I'll call this anims and just drag everything except for the animation vi and the gameplay ability in here. And then I'll create another folder called abilities and put the GA blink in there. And I'll create another folder called notifies and put the anim notify in here. And now in my abilities, I'm just going to right click, go to blueprint class and look for a gameplay effect. And for this gameplay effect, I can just type in GE_blink, which stands for gameplay effect _blink. And in here, all I need to do is just for the duration policy, this will be an instant spell. So I'll leave it as so. Oh, wait. So I want to add some sort of cooldown. So for duration policy, I'm going to do a has duration, and the duration magnitude will be a scalable float, which I'm going to set to 5 seconds. It's a pretty short cooldown, but just for the sake of this tutorial to test it out, 5 seconds is just fine. And now under components, I'm going to click on this add, and I'm going to look for a grant tags to target actor. And in here, I need to add some inherited tag that will tell it that this cooldown is being applied to whoever used this gameplay ability. So I'm just going to look for I'm just going to add a new tag and call this cooldown.blink and set the source to this default gameplay tags.ini and click add new tag and select it. So now it'll get set to my combined tags and add to inherited like so. And I'll hit compile. And now all I need to do is go back to my gameplay ability.blink, and on class defaults, you'll see this cooldowns, which has a cooldown gameplay effect class, and select my GE_blink that we created just now. So now when I go back to my map and spam F, it's only going to play my blink once, but it's not going to play again until 5 seconds, like so. So it'll play my blink every 5 seconds, no matter how many times I spam it. And yeah, this is a pretty good looking spell. It looks pretty clean. I can run around while using it. And yeah, that's pretty much how you create a pretty solid gameplay ability of a blink with a 5-second cooldown, upper body being animated so it doesn't affect the lower body and you can use it while running. And yeah, feel free to play around with this. Show me what you got in Discord, or thanks for watching Code Row. Like, subscribe, comment below what you want to see next, and I'll see